Mandy Harvey is an American deaf singer-songwriter. She was a vocal music education major at Colorado State University when she lost her residual hearing at the age of 18 due to a connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. However, her Ehlers-Danlos syndrome did not stop her from pursuing her dreams and aspirations. Mandy now is a successful singer-songwriter. Mandy's motto is always remember to try. We are so honored and welcome Mandy today to be speaking with us. So can you tell us a little bit about your Ehlers-Danlos syndrome?
Yeah, so I started having issues physically when I was a young child. I've always been the kid who stood and my knees bent back in weird ways, and it's been something that we were aware of because hypermobility is very common in my family, but we didn't have a label for it. I have it affected in all of my joints and ligaments. Everything is hypermobile, so they move and dislocate very easily. And when I was a senior in high school, I dislocated my leg walking in PE class, and that started a cycle of 5 or 6 major surgeries within a year and a half. And my body's reaction to the stress and the medication and my body changing being 18 years old were all kind of the perfect storm that caused my hearing loss and a great deal of vision loss as well.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how complicated it was.
It's, I think that every person's experience is very different. That's why we're called zebras, because everybody's stripes are a little bit different, but also your body kind of tears in certain ways. I think every day I learn something new.
It's amazing to see and watch.
Well, thank you. I've had a lot of amazing people encourage me the whole way. So I wouldn't want to let myself down, but I wouldn't want to let any of them down either.
Right. Yeah, you have a great support system aside from your family, of course. So again, it's wonderful to see. So did you always know that you wanted to be a singer-songwriter before your diagnosis?
No. I wanted to be a music teacher to my whole heart. I never saw myself as a performer, and the idea of writing music, I always thought that people were just born natural songwriters, that it just dumped out of them. So I didn't feel like I naturally had that gift, so I never tried. And then after I lost my hearing and I lost this opportunity for what I saw as being a teacher, I found a way back into music, and it just happened to be connected with performance. And so that kind of led to performing. And then I was encouraged to start songwriting by a friend of mine who is named Eric Weinmeier. He's the first blind man to climb Mount Everest. There's been 2, if you can believe that. Is amazing.
Wow.
He's amazing. But he just asked me straightforward. He says, why haven't you written of your own songs? And I said, well, that's terrifying. It's weird enough to sing a song that other people know and said is a good song. It's way different to sing a song that no one has ever heard before. That's a huge risk, putting yourself out there in a huge way. And he said, what's the worst that can happen? And I didn't have an answer. And so it kind of challenged me to start thinking about this idea of what's the worst that can happen. And then eventually I got to a point where I got tired of focusing on the negative, and I wanted to focus on the positive. So I started to say, well, what's the best that can happen? What's the best that can happen by writing a song? Maybe I give words to somebody else who is going through a difficult time, or just words to an emotion, and we can be connected like a community. What's the best that can happen by putting myself out there? Maybe it will encourage somebody else to chase their dream. Get over myself. Let's go.
So that's how your singing and songwriting started.
Yeah.
So with your diagnosis, how do you write and play music?
So now everything is based from feeling the vibrations as well as using visual tuners. So I use apps on my phone where I can see what I'm singing or what is being played, and then I connect that with how it feels. In addition, a lot of music theory. The difficulty with having EDS and having a skill set that is connected to feeling vibrations is that I lose feeling in my body a lot. So I've cultivated a skill and my body decides if it's going to work or not that day for me to be able to really like harness it and feel good about it. So I don't write when I'm feeling that miserable. I might journal, but I don't necessarily worry too much about, oh, I need to write a song today, you know?
Right. And how often are you songwriting and playing? I mean, obviously,
I work on my music every day, except when I'm like really, really sick. But I work on music every day. I work on speech therapy and speaking clearly every single day. I work on some kind of physical activity because I have bad blood flow, and that creates the numbness all over my body. And to keep myself alive, I have to do a lot of physical therapy. So I have many things in my life that are just a part of my norm. I've stitched it into my life.
yeah. You know what's so interesting is that people that know you, including myself, know that you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and you're an amazing singer, songwriter, and so forth. But you just telling me about the speech therapy, the physical therapy that you do on the side, I don't think anyone would even think about that, because you're so proficient and you're just, you appear amazing. So,
well, thank you. That's one of the biggest barriers that people have with invisible disabilities is that if you look one way, there's an automatic judgment that happens. And in truth, we have no idea what is going on in other people's lives. You have gone through so many struggles and in your life. And I know as hard as it is, there are going to be beautifully awesome days where you just feel amazing. And there are going to be difficult days where you don't feel amazing. But because you are such a glowing personality and very smiley, people don't necessarily think about you on your dark days. So it's like they see you on the good days, so that's the only thing that they know of you. But if they could only peek into your life of waking up in the morning and having to make the decision of whether or not you were going to get out of bed and struggle for the day, if they could hold your hand during all of the physical therapy that you've done with surgeries, if they could have been there through the days where you just want to cry because you just want to wake up normal for one day, I just want to feel like everybody else. We need to find ourselves in a world where we judge each other so much less and we just love and encourage each other.
I totally agree. So when you have these really dark days, who do you look to for support? I would assume your parents, of course. You're married, so your husband as well. But is there anyone else that you go to?
I find a lot of encouragement from people who are going through their own lives. So I talk to a lot of people, whether it's friends or family. Everybody understands struggle. So like you have those people in your life who just kind of kick you in the butt. I have some really incredible friends who have overcome unbelievable obstacles, and they find joy in the process, not every day, but on their own days where they need somebody to lean on, like we lean on each other. So my down day might not be his down day or her down day, and we kind of help build each other up. Or sometimes we all have it at the same time. We just cry together. You know, it's finding a core group of people who are 100% real. And I think that is a challenge, far more than my EDS.
I would agree, and that's a challenge for everyone, regardless of whether you have a difference or not.
Yeah.
But having a great support system, especially when you do have a difference or a disorder, it's great. So what has been your greatest obstacle to date, or what is your greatest obstacle that you need to manage on a daily basis?
I think trusting myself is been one that is a consistent struggle. That's one of the core messages in my song Try, is that I am so afraid of failure and so afraid of messing up that I don't allow myself to go through the process because I'm afraid of feeling the pain. And what that does is it basically limits you from experiencing life. You have to be willing to fail to be successful in anything. And so telling myself that it doesn't matter if I fail or succeed, I'm going to learn and grow from the experience and find a way to move forward and do better the next time. It's a constant struggle, and one that as I go through it and as I struggle with it and I see the benefits more and more, I get more courageous. And so now I feel like I keep doubling down on myself. It's like, oh yeah, all right, you've done here, let's go here. Oh, you're comfortable here, all right, let's go here. So I keep pushing myself.
Yeah,
and that's a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we all learn on a day-to-day basis, and it just makes us better and better as human beings.
Yeah.
What is your universal message that you'd like to convey to everyone that has some type of difference or disorder, or is affected in some way, whether it be a parent, even a professional, to really keep moving forward despite their differences and, try to reach their dreams and aspirations?
Yeah, I think the one phrase that I'm known for is saying, always remember to try. It's not based off of saying always try, but it's reminding you that you have the option and you should remember that option exists. I think that no matter what your barrier is, whether it's obvious, invisible, or different every day, that you have two options. You can stay and do the same thing that you're doing every day and you'll know exactly what the result will be. Or you can stand up off the floor and try something and see what happens. Like, you're opening the door for possibilities in your life. And the only people who can determine how far you can go is you.
Yeah, great words. What tips or words of advice would you give to these musicians?
I have a lot of things to say. Let's say start with a balloon. Blow up a balloon and hold it in your fingers and either speak, make noise, or if you don't have the ability to speak, have a noise hit the balloon. That could be like the radio or play a CD, and feel the music on your fingertips. And as you do that, you become more sensitive to the vibrations that are around you. You'll be more perceptive. And it's a beautiful reminder when you feel lost that everybody feels music first. That's the truth. Those waves hit your body and you are experiencing music exactly like everybody else, or feeling it first. We just get to pay attention to it a little bit differently. But I could go into a whole monologue about visual tuners and feeling vibrations, but I'm sure you can find me talking about that on the internet somewhere else.
You definitely can. I've definitely come across that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lastly, since I know many people are going to want to know, how do we stay connected with you and follow you?
Aw. You can find me at www.mandyharveymusic.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Mandy Harvey Music, or Instagram, Mandy Harvey. I'm here, there, and everyone. If you want to be a part of my mini concerts every Friday, you can visit Patreon/Mandy Harvey. You'll find me, or you'll find that link on my Instagram. I'm everywhere.
Yes,
Come on and join the fun.
of course. Well, I'll just say in closing, it's we're going to do Facebook Live and whatnot, but it's an honor to know you and for you to be a part of our community.